Hello and welcome to Mindfulness on Monday. And I'm back here with Sune. Sune she told me it's the first time she has turned her computer on in 7 days. Can anybody actually believe that? I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
But gosh, Sune, that's amazing. So do tell us, this week we are here, we're all ears. You can't wait to hear about your silently retreat week that you have just had. You look fabulous. You look rejuvenated, and honestly, I'm so excited to hear. Did you have a wonderful time?
Wow, that's good morning, Phillipa. I
Oh
think
yeah.
let me start. No. I think it's just me collecting my thoughts as well. It helps to um I haven't really spoken about it since I got back. So I got back yesterday afternoon and of course, yeah, shared some stuff with my husband and whatever my daughter cares to want to hear or listen to. Um it's hard to encapsulate everything. I think in a nutshell, if I can do that, is it's been the most nourishing 7 day or 6 days, yeah, whatever, 6 days. Mind, body, spirit, soul, yeah. From the point of not having to do anything, like I didn't have, all the, and because of COVID, normally when you go on retreat, you would help with doing dishes or, stuff like that. But because of COVID, we had one morning of doing some vegetable prep. But, just the fact that I didn't have to think about what to cook, what to eat, so that, especially after COVID, I had my own room, so not sharing it with, well, a husband. Another person is another thing, but just having, yeah. So I think just that space, that personal space, and that not having to think about all the things that you have to do on a daily basis. There's a schedule, so you follow that schedule, which is quite liberating as well, especially for someone like me who don't really have much of a schedule when it comes to day. It's like, what do I feel like doing today? I'll do that today. But then obviously the main reason why one goes to retreat, I think it's different for everyone, but it was to deepen my meditation practice and my mindfulness practice, because you do spend, well, literally hours meditating, and then also using the opportunity while you're there to see it as to deepen the practice of mindfulness of in everything that you do, because throughout so there's the set practices and the set times, and lots of teachings and lots of time to reflect and that kind of thing. But then there's also a lot of spaciousness. So between, say, lunch is at 1 and then the next formal meditation is at 5:20. So it's a lot of time to do nothing, because the invitation is to just be, right? Because you're not reading or writing or so lots of long walks. And I slept so much and I slept so well, and yeah, just like I was surprised at how deeply I slept, but also how much I slept. And I think how much, and quite a few people said that. I think it's that absolute stillness, and also not being disturbed by anyone, and meditation is hard work. It is, it's that the concentration part of it, especially if you're spending a whole meditation just focusing on one thing, if that's the breath, that is really heavy mental work. And then emotionally, because I love the metaphor, the analogy. I don't know which one, but like a snow globe or a jar full of sand and muck and mud and stuff, right? And when you arrive at retreat, the first few days is a bit like, or it's like our daily lives. This jar gets shaken the whole time. But then after a few days, that settles, the shit rises to the top, and you have to deal with it. That's my own analogy. I don't know if that's ever written up, but yeah, the stuff comes up. And when you least expect it, something gets triggered and brings something up, and that is what you then work with. And, once you've worked through that, or you don't work through it, but, applying every tool in the toolbox to be with it and to explore it and to investigate and be curious about, what is this, what's underneath it. Once that kind of has burst open, that's when everything starts settling, and this incredible feeling of spaciousness and contentment and calm. And of course, it's different for everyone. Some people find it very disturbing. But there's obviously people there that you can talk to, and you're not on your own. But, in typical Sune fashion, I didn't read the small print, so it wasn't a complete silent retreat for 10 days. The one I have been on before was for 6 days. And it was interesting. So now you've asked me, now I'm not going to stop talking, right? Because it's like, I don't know what I'm going to say about this. But then now I'm like, yeah, it was interesting because when I arrived, I was like, this is a silent retreat, amazing. I don't want to talk to anyone anyway, because this is my retreat. I want to, this is my time to do my inner work, right? This is the time. So I was a bit disappointed when I found out there's definite silent times, and like from 8 o'clock in the evening until 10 o'clock in the morning, it's completely silent. But then we can talk over lunchtime and dinner and whatever. But in the end, it was just the people were really amazing. And yeah, I really also think that the fact that we've had COVID has added another layer of just how profound the experience was, because everyone was in the same storm, right? Different boats, but same storm. And some people have been on their own for this whole time. So just everyone's experience of it, and then for the first time in how many months that here's a room full of people who've not been with other people. And just that kind of in the beginning of the retreat, looking at everyone and kind of thinking, who are these people? Like, do I really want to spend 7 days with these people that I don't know? And, I haven't even seen my family and blah, blah, blah. But at the end, it was just this real incredible connection with these people and I think it's because one shares such vulnerable stuff, and you're in a very safe space to be vulnerable and to share stuff. And it's not therapy, so it's not like all your lifelong dirty laundry gets washed in public kind of thing. But and the teachings and the teacher that we had was just phenomenal. Just one of those people who just has that way of, when they look at you, you just start crying because you think, oh, you're going to listen to me and you're not going to judge me. And it's a bit, I guess, like meeting any real spiritual person or someone who's really genuinely compassionate and caring and all of those things. So it was a beautiful space in that sense. And then, of course, the setting. It's in Devon, so Totnes. Um, and it's this Sharpham estate, which is an estate on 600 acres of land. And
Wow.
I mean, it's just beautiful. So you live in this massive house and it's very comfortable, and the food is all from the land,
Wow.
most of it.
Mm.
I would say it's all vegetarian or vegan food. And yeah, so the whole setting is just really conducive, and that's what it is, right? It's a retreat for mindfulness and working in the Buddhist tradition, but also secular meditation and mindfulness. So yeah, just an incredible, incredible experience. But like my husband said to me this morning, he's like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's tough. It's tough being back in the real world." And kind of makes you realize that this is the practice, like being here, or just being in our daily lives. That's the hard bit, because on retreat you've got the space, you've got the time, you've got the mountaintop, you've got the green valleys and the trees and the birds and the incredible vegetarian food, and no distraction from the outside world. So it lends itself to deepen that practice, but it's really, I guess, noticing just how I'm feeling being back, and kind of, yeah, that desire that can be so harmful of, "Oh, I should book another one, when I should go again," or "I don't like where I am now, I prefer that, therefore I was happy then and I'm not happy now." And just kind of recognizing those mood states and how it influences us, and how we cling on and hold on to the beauty and the perfectness of that space, and thinking, "Oh, if only I have that every day, then I will be happy, and then my life will be complete, and then everything will be so easy." But that's not the reality of life, is it? It is.
No,
It is.
it's really not. It does sound fabulous. I think to have that opportunity to take time out from your everyday, and 6 days is definitely long enough to really fully immerse yourself in that
Yeah,
experience, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
And like all things, I say I'd try it once. Um, I don't know. It's interesting that you sound just like me. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'd turn up on silent retreat only to find that it wasn't silent all the time. I can just see that happening to me.
yeah,
But I think maybe it was apt that actually happened for you, because, as you say, this whole situation over the last 12 months totally sideswiping us, and
yeah.
pulling the rug out from under so many people, and to have that opportunity to go and explore
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something I think that was the common thread, and well, especially one of the big things for me was just the immense gratitude, and um, that I can do that. I can step out of my life for 7 days and know that everything else is okay and taken care of, and but it's a decision and it's a choice that I've made as well, right? And I've set it up in that way so that I can do that, and you don't have to go on retreat to. But I think what hit home for me is just how I think every single one of us need some respite after this whole year, and just from daily life anyway. But and not so yeah. So my husband was saying, because I said, of course, then I said, do you want to take some time off for yourself? Do you want to do something? He's like, "No, I'll wait when he's on holiday." And I was like, there's something quite different about really doing nothing and not even having to plan a meal or think about what you're going to eat. Like it's just done for you, which is a real luxury, I know, but it's so needed, I think, after this constantly cooking and cleaning and homeschooling and so yeah, in a nutshell, it was nourishing beyond expectation.
Well, I'm glad because,
Yeah.
like you say, you gave yourself that opportunity, and to embrace it, and make the most of it is all is what we should do,
Yeah.
given
Yeah.
that chance. And do you feel like there's something you brought home with you that will make you'll bring into your daily practice, daily life, or some shift? Do you experience anything like that?
Yeah, um I think definitely one of the things we explored quite a bit is mindful walking, or walking with more awareness, because it's something we do every day
Mm,
anyway.
mm,
So really bringing awareness to that, so to the body and the actual physical sensations, but also just this wider awareness of, yeah, I mean the theme around it was around awareness, and that awareness is already here, but it's how much attention we pay to that and what shrouds it and what clouds it.
mm.
So yeah, I think the main thing I've brought home is just rekindling and reawakening that awareness, oh, and really noticing, I guess, even the mundane. So yeah, that feeling tone of things that are pleasurable and is wonderful, but also this, what I'm sitting with now, which is quite uncomfortable, which is quite sad, a little bit low, and being aware of that as well, and being able to hold that, and then also the mundaneness of doing washing up and folding up the laundry, but bringing an awareness to that as well. So I think it's brought that home, definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's it, isn't it? This, propensity to do everything to music, or have a podcast
Mm,
in the background, or
yeah.
a conversation, um, and to just be in virtually a constant state of distraction,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
which is okay. It's absolutely okay, but the quality of our lives can be so enhanced by simplicity, by
Yeah.
really appreciating nature. That,
Yeah.
as you say, the walking mindfully, because you can walk the same route every day and
Yeah.
barely
Mm,
notice. And I know Jay Shetty was talking about in his book how the monks did a walk every day, and they followed the same route every day. And one of the challenges was to find something different on your walk, on this particular occasion.
yeah.
And so you would have to be paying attention in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I definitely love to. Some people might call it being nosy, walking around my neighbourhood, noticing what different things are happening in people's gardens,
Yeah.
but and smelling. I'm forever stopping to smell things. Like, I saw some honeysuckle the other day, and I said to my son, "Oh gosh, this is so. I love the smell of honeysuckle." And so we stop, and
Yeah.
his eyes are rolling back in his head nearly, because. But stop to smell the roses. Take
Yeah.
that moment of time, and
Yeah.
if this may be something that doesn't speak to you, and fair enough. But it definitely speaks to me that, as you say, after this time of challenge, I don't think there's anybody that is totally unaffected by all this.
Yeah.
And
No.
if you feel unaffected, maybe it's there is that layer, isn't there? The what is beneath.
Yeah.
That we
And I
could
think,
be entirely aware of.
and I think this is something that was very profound for me. Is like, I thought, oh, I'm not that affected by it because, I wasn't ill. I'm very fortunate in that, I had space and all the rest. But when you really stop and start when you really stop and start it's like something, just a realization just comes, and like, this was hard for everyone in different ways. But I think, from what you just said as well, and your last question is, what have I taken home from this? I think it is this realization of getting older, that the impermanence of everything. And how do we make the best of, how do you live your life in every single day in a way that, when you breathe your last breath, you can say, I've lived every day. And I think that is that's something that's really hit home for me, is not to be morbid or anything, but that with the realization that everything is impermanent, that's like a kick up the backside of making the most of every single day. So I think, that was a really big thing. So
and I think that's probably a realization that lots of us have had over this period for different reasons. I've got my 70 plus parents staying. I think they're going back today. And that that's really hit home. This I've been doing some stretching with my dad, which was really lovely, but he's really on a mission to get stretchier at 74.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, I think, still having goals, still having active lifestyles, putting things on the agenda, things to look forward to.
Because, I mean, this is the thing, right? Because he could live until he's 90. He could live another 20 years. That's a long time, and to be, fit and healthy and all the rest. So.
Yeah, I remember my grandma was constantly counting down. She was dying from being about 60, I think. But that's living mindfully. If only she'd realised that was what she was doing. I really don't think she understood it. That it was all so dreary, and
Yeah, but I know time is probably up, but this was something that was really interesting about this teacher that we were working with. He's really interested in, societies, like the elder population and their role in society, and how their role has become obsolete almost. Like, our society have created this thing that older. So he works a lot with older people who have retired and have been retired for a while. Like, what is your role in society? What is it that you can, because they have such an important role to play, especially for younger people, or for someone like me. If I could sit at the feet of a wise 70-year-old person who would listen, and how enriching would that be to everyone, and this great loss. And I mean, I'm obviously not retired yet, but it's, I think, a big thing for people when they do get retired or they get older. It's like, well, what do I do with my life now? I can't just sit. We just shove them into old age homes and like, okay, you get on with it now. Have your 3 meals a day and watch crap TV and that. But they've got so much left to give and to do. And I found that really eye-opening. It's like, you've got a life to live, and you're not gone yet. So what are you going to do with that time? So
Yeah.
yeah, that was really, really heartwarming, and something I'm quite passionate about as well. Actually, is just that those wise old people that we don't have much patience for.
No, I know it is, and you know that I know that you don't feel any different now at 54. I am in June, and so neither do they at 74.
Yeah,
You know, they don't
yeah,
feel any different
yeah,
inside, and it's just that everybody else disengages, or people disengage from you,
yeah.
and you know, put you into a I was going to say an envelope, but I think I meant to pigeonhole. Um, so yeah, I mean, I do know. What did I say to one of my clients who's very keen golfer? You know, and every time I say to him, "How are you today?" and he always gauges it by how much golf he's done, or how good his golf was, or whatever. And he said, "But you know what? It's fantastic for my mental health. I've got 60 male friends at the golf club and I'm part of this thing, you know."
60.
Yeah,
Wow,
there's
that's
loads of them.
amazing.
I know, and so he said, we just have an absolute whale of a time comparing our ailments and playing rubbish golf, or that's what his words, not mine. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, and my dad's a member of a sailing club, and you know, predominantly retired older people, but all still, you know, grasping the nettle and giving it big uns, living life.
yeah. That's amazing.
But you know, I do think that's the thing that we really I think it's partly about being in such a rush to do,
Yeah,
you know, for things to happen and for time to pass and not having
yeah.
patience. And
Yeah, and it's like, where are we rushing to? What are we, where are we trying to get to? Where are we trying? And I guess this is what happens as you get older, right? And for us as women in this transitional phase as well, is like, okay, well, I'm not having children anymore. I've done this. Now what? What is my role in society? It's much bigger than just climbing a corporate ladder or whatever. And yeah, no, it'd be really. I've not explored this, but how, children your age, not you, children of your children's age, children,
yeah, yeah.
adults, young adults,
Mm.
to connect with people, much older in their 70s, and that as a mentorship and as a guidance. It's almost like this massive generational thing in between. It's like they don't know about them and they don't know about them, and it's how can you bring that together. I don't know, I'm sure people are doing work on that,
Yeah.
but it's
Well,
interesting. I think it'd be so enriching for both, for
absolutely.
children.
I mean, they did do that research on the program on the television where they were putting together people in care homes and people at nursery age children.
Yes,
Remember that?
yes,
And both were very enriched by that
yes,
experience. But I think you're right with the teenagers because um, you know that's a demographic. My children who won't listen to a word that I say.
yeah,
Uh, but actually do respect what my parents have got to say, and will
yeah,
spend time chatting. My dad was a conditioning coach with the rugby team in his heyday, and so him and my youngest son, who's into bodybuilding, were having a big conversation about reps and 1 rep maxes, and all this
yeah,
stuff. So uh, he was he was almost more willing to engage with my dad than
yeah,
he is sometimes with his
yeah,
own, so,
yeah.
and it
Yeah,
is,
exactly. And I think it's that societal thing, isn't it? Where, we don't listen to our own parents and
yeah,
brothers and sisters, but someone else will say exactly the same thing. Be like, oh, that's a myth. I really should be doing that.
yeah,
Yeah, so
well,
that mentorship and that, I think that's what it is mentorship. Where do we get that from when we're getting older, or when you're not in school or in university, and who is your mentor, who is your guide, who is your teacher, who's not a therapist. And
well, you should say that, because I had a guy round the other day and he was delivering the hot tub for my son's 18th birthday gathering. Yeah.
oh,
Out there on the patio. It's going back on Wednesday. But and he's a young fella, younger than me anyway, and he was talking about being a volunteer for the Prince's Trust, and he teaches young people how to set up in business. Disadvantaged youths who have maybe lost the way, and trying to help them to find the way back, and maybe do a business.
yeah.
And I said, well, what is there for middle-aged women who want to do a business? Because you kind of feel like there is, and not that there shouldn't be, support for the young people, absolutely. And then there's the university of the third age, where everybody's getting together. What about us in the middle?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go, Phillipa. There's another thing you can do when you.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, we'll just club together, Sune, and spread the word.
Spread the word, exactly. Well, I think it just kind of shows that there's no end until it's really the end, right? Like,
yeah,
and also, anyway, I can go on and on about it, but I think that we all need. In order for a society that flourishes and that functions well, we all need help and support, regardless of who you are or what your background is, or it's all very relative, right? So so
keep on keeping on, and support each other, because just because on the face of it you say, how are you today, and everybody says, oh, I'm fine, that's not always the case, is it? And so dig a bit deeper, know people.
And I think really being willing to listen to that, how are you really doing today, and who do you have that will actually listen to you when you say, actually, no, I am not doing well, it's not going well. And just that mere thing of someone listening to you without wanting to fix it or give you advice, I think is so powerful, because we don't have people who just listen to us without being distracted and looking at their phones. And anyway, we can go on and on and on.
But that is it. It brings us back to where we began, going deeper inside, and maybe listening to ourselves, the inner voice, and really getting to know where we're at. And if you can give yourself some time, whether it's 20 minutes while the dinner's cooking, or if you have the opportunity to go for a weekend somewhere, or even just a walk in nature, make time for you, sometime, just a little every day, and our lives will be richer for it.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
Well, thank you. It's lovely to see you again. I'm so happy you're back and safe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And it was enriching.
Indeed. Okay. Well, take care. Have a great week.
You too.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.